Meanwhile, Davis, team coming from Oakland back in 2020. Mark Davis running the operation. Meanwhile, a punt here off the foot of J.K. Scott. And DeAndre Carter back to receive inside the 15-yard line. Fair catch called for, made at the 17-yard line. Kirk.
Well, let's take a look at our high performance 4K Sky Cam presented by BMW. We came in wondering how this offensive line, again, reshuffled. How would they hold up? How would they, without Josh Jacobs, would they be able to run the ball enough? Would they be able to hold up in pass protection against Mack? Remember, they had 7 sacks, 6 by Mack alone. And so far, they are giving Aiden O'Connell time to be able to look downfield, make good throws, been very accurate so far. They've hit some big plays downfield, something that has been missing for this offense.
So 21 in the first quarter. And start here at the 18-yard line. They already have 8 first downs and 141 yards.
Now three's the mic. Hey, Monday.
Three's the mic. Not much there. Hinton making the tackle on Zamir White.
You know, Bo Hardigree, the offensive coordinator who took over as a play caller, by the way, first time in his career as a coach. You can imagine mid-season trying to pick that up, but he's doing a heck of a job. He said the greatest thing that I feel like with Aiden O'Connell is that he handles everything at the line of scrimmage. And I thought that audio there, initially he called the mic 9, and then the defense moves around and he goes, check. Three's the mic. So he's in command, and that helps the offensive line. So, see, there he is again, in command of this offense, helping that offensive line out.
3 being Derwin James. Look out from behind. He's hit as he throws. That time Khalil Mack almost had the sack. Chargers think maybe it's a fumble, but it's not. You know, you looked at Hardigree. We talked about the fact they fired McDaniels, the head coach. They fired Mick Lombardi, the offensive coordinator. So Hardigree was the quarterback's coach. He's been calling the plays from the field. He's now upstairs for the first time. I think he's going to stay there the way things are going.
Yeah. I asked him last night when I talked to him, I said, you know, you've never done this. He said, no, man. I mean, I learned on the fly. He's like, I'm learning something new every week. And he said, so far, I've not run out of time as far as making the calls. So far, the rhythm of the operation has gone pretty well. And I think it helps having a very cerebral guy, even though he's a rookie, in O'Connell.
Las Vegas, this is a 30-second timeout.
Vegas takes a timeout. So O'Connell, take a look at his story. From Omaha, Nebraska, originally no scholarship offers. He was a walk-on at Purdue. Started 33 games over 6 seasons there. 4th-round pick. Actually grew up in the Chicago area, as he told us. Was a big Bears fan, making his 7th career start tonight. In and out of that starting lineup. But he is, probably, I guess, for the rest of the season, unless disaster strikes, he should be the guy all the way to the end.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that he's doing tonight, he was a little tentative last week, just a little unsure. I think he was being careful tonight. He is more of a gunslinger mentality. But I think he's got the right mindset, you know, for a young quarterback to come in here and deal with a lot of adversity that they've dealt with and get through it. Says a lot about him.
3rd and 10. Deep in the pocket. And that's going to be caught, but short of that first down. Amir Abdullah. Going to make it 4th down and 2, and they send in the punt group.
Yeah, Chargers defense gets O'Connell and company off the field. You know, they've been working. We talked about in the open, what do the Raiders have to do? And I said Max Crosby and company have to give their own offense a short field, and they've done that. And now you're finally seeing them have to work from deep in their own territory, and it's a 3-and-out. The Chargers should have decent field position here.
A.J. Cole, his net average is 45.9. That's the best in the league coming into week 15. Darius Davis is there, calls for and makes a fair catch at the 21-yard line. Early.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, where you can see Justin Herbert there with a cast on his right hand. He fractured his right index finger Sunday, and unlike the finger injury he suffered week 4 and played through this time, it was on his throwing hand. He broke the bone at the base of his index finger, which is the most important finger for a quarterback's ability to grip a football. He had surgery on Tuesday with pins inserted to stabilize it. Brandon Staley told us there is no long-term concern, but complete recovery will take about 6 weeks, guys.
And of course, they need him, the franchise quarterback. He was at the end of his rookie contract, and they paid him, for 20 minutes. He was the highest paid guy in the league. But that's a movable feast. But he is done for the season. Stick now from the 21-yard line. Isaiah Spiller is the running back. First time we have seen him. But before we do, there's a flag.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Janarius Robinson. So Herbert, of course, came on as a rookie in 2020. Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback. He was going to be the backup. The injury timeline for him, fractured ribs. We did that game. That was the opening Thursday night game. Didn't miss any games. Torn labrum in the offseason, fractured finger, non-throwing hand. Played through that until last week. And on 1st and 5, that's Isaiah Spiller getting the carry. Second-year guy out of Texas A&M.
You build your entire franchise around him, and it's going to be interesting to see some of the moves that this franchise makes on a lot of levels, but what they do to try to help him. I mean, you look at the players that are around him for the most part, you've got some age, you've got some decisions to make. One thing about it, Herbert's a great player, but this offense has struggled this year. They cannot run the ball. Eckler hurt his ankle early. Tom Telesco, the general manager, looking on. So you have the ankle. They haven't been able to run the ball last week. They're 0 for 13 on 3rd down.
That pass is caught. Can he get the first down? Yes, he can, with a thrust at the end. That Stone Smart moving the sticks here.
And the last thing I'll say, and I covered him a lot in college at Oregon, he's 30 and 32 as a starting quarterback with the Chargers. So they haven't been able to capitalize in that first 5-year window that they had with him, and they've got to make some decisions around him to get better up front and better skill-wise to think about trying to build for the future and what they can do with him, and that's middle part of his career and beyond.
Chargers, a lot of decisions to be made once the season ends. From the 33. The timeout is called here. A lot of the narrative has been, hey, this was a team a lot of people thought had a chance to go to the Super Bowl this year. Lose their first 2 games, then they win the next 2, then lose 2, then win the next 2. So they're 4-4 at the halfway mark of the season, but it doesn't come together for them. No,
and I think you brought it up a little earlier. 5 losses. Think about how this season, how different it could be. You have 5 losses by 3 points or less. I mean, Dean Spanos has to be wondering, how do we keep figuring out ways to lose games? We're playing well enough to win, right? But they always seem to, in the 4th quarter, the ball bounces the wrong way, and they find themselves sitting here at 5-8. They could easily have 7 or 8 wins.
They have lost maybe more gut-wrenching games than any team over the past 2.5 decades. A whole litany of them.
And not 2.5 years. You say 2.5 decades.
Decades, exactly right. And I meant that. From the 33. Cutting to the outside. Isaiah Spiller. Speaking of chargering, I guess to lose in heartbreaking fashion would be the definition of that in your Webster's. Including postseason, 31 games decided by 8 or fewer points, and the record in those games 15-16 since 2021. 6-12 in games decided by 3 points or less. And you could go on and on, but we won't. 2nd down and 7. Stick fires, and that's incomplete. Coverage is tight, intended there for Alex Erickson. First time they looked his way tonight. You got Nate Hobbs covering on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
I really feel like Nate Hobbs is emerging when he's healthy. It's one of the more versatile, one of the more talented slot corners in the NFL. He's physical. He's tough. You can blitz him. You can cover him. He mans up the way you just saw right there. Really the total package on the inside here for this Raiders defense and coverage.
Great job out of the slot. 3rd down and 7. stick. Look out. Under pressure. Got it away. Intended that time for Eckler. You've got Malcolm Kuntz, who already has a sack tonight, putting the pressure on 4th down.
By the way, keep in mind that Kuntz is going up against Slater, the left tackle, who's supposed to be one of the better left tackles in pass protection in the NFL. All that attention on the right. Here comes Crosby around on a stunt, but it's one-on-one on that left side because you trust Slater to be able to win. Malcolm Kuntz is a good player, but you got to win that matchup, and you lose there on 3rd down.
J.K. Scott, his 3rd punt of the night. DeAndre Carter back. Takes it on the run at the 17-yard line. Decent run back to the 31. 10:46, 12.
12, okay, okay.
From the 30-yard line on 1st down, O'Connell fires, and that's incomplete up at the 40-yard line. Intended there for Adams, covered that time by Asante Samuel. It's a good one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, he's off in man coverage, has outside leverage, and this guy just keeps getting better in his 3rd year out of Florida State. You know, you see the patience there by Devontae Adams on that route, and just a really good job by Samuel working around his body and using that right hand to knock that ball away. It's a heck of a matchup with Adams, the vet everybody knows about, against Asante Samuel.
The 2 big-time players. 2nd down and 10. Through the middle. Picking up about 5 goes Zamir White. 3rd down. To this point, 154 total yards for Vegas and 61 for the Chargers.
And we knew that they were embarrassed. I mean, they told us they wanted to get back out on the field, but they have not looked this good in a long time. The first 2 games against the Jets and the Giants, they got wins. Everybody's excited about AP. He's the guy, and then they lose a few. But man, they've not executed like this offensively in a long time.
3rd and 5. Send an extra man, and the pass is knocked down. So the Charger defense responding here. Looked at Antonio Pierce. He's the interim coach. I mean, it was kind of an interesting situation. He was the linebackers coach. Not often does the linebackers coach in his 2nd year become the head coach. He's interim. Will he get the job at the end of the season? He'll be interviewed anyway, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, time will tell. But I think the biggest thing is, I was talking to Josh Jacobs about it on the field before the game, and there, of course, is Mark Davis, the owner. He'll have a big decision. I think a lot of owners are going to have big decisions. But Josh Jacobs just said, we just rally around him. We love that he's been there and done it as a player, and we respect him as a coach. But he gets these players to really buy in.
Pulls kick. That ball is out. And again, a turnover. DJ Turner comes away with it.
The ruling on the field is a fumble by the receiving team, recovered by the kicking team.
DJ Turner just ripped it away from the rookie Darius Davis. I mean, it was almost like you saw it coming, and it was like, there's no way this is going to happen again. There's no way they're going to get a short field with another turnover. And sure enough, he ripped that ball and recovers it. And now they give O'Connell the ball inside the 15-yard line.
Clock to 9 minutes 44 seconds.
Everything going right for the Raiders.
Boy,
everything going just a disaster for the Chargers.
Complete nightmare for the Chargers here. 21-0 from the 14. O'Connell at 50%, 8 of 16 for 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Over the left side, gain of a couple here for Zamir White. It'll be 2nd down, 2nd and 8.
Red zone's been an area that the Raiders most of this year have struggled, but tonight they've been able to capitalize on their opportunities.
Kenneth Murray is the injured player, so a timeout while they tend to him with 9.5 to go in the opening half in Las Vegas. Back after this. Go up under his own power.
3 of their 5 drives in plus territory, plus 42, plus 31, both of those touchdowns, and now they're starting here in the plus 14.
2nd and 7. Play action. Wide open touchdown. Michael Mayer. The Notre Dame rookie. Big night for him. 11 yards for a touchdown and a 4 TD lead.
What a job by Bo Hardigree, the offensive coordinator and play caller, who moved upstairs tonight to get a better view and a better field. Normally he's been downstairs. Tight ends right here. Watch him sell this to the point that the big safety, Gilman, he ends up keeping his eyes. He had him in man coverage. His eyes go off of Mayer. He looks into the backfield. Nobody's left out in the flat to defend Mayer. An easy touchdown with a great play call.
Well, for the second week in a row, we didn't think we would see that many points. But we already have 28 on the board. 9:15 to the half. This started after getting shut out last week. Adams making that grab. Then you got Mayer right there. Been on the mark. 9 of 17, 134. He's thrown for 3 touchdowns. Beautiful grab right there. Moving out of the pocket. You can't be any more wide open than that. So if you're the Chargers, I mean, this is kind of a crazy. You draw inspiration from the fact you go in and say, hey, we had a 27-0 lead in the playoff game last year and blew it against Jacksonville. So teams come from behind.
Are you setting me up?
Whatever.
Inspiration is not a word that comes to mind.
No, it's not.
When I look at the 2023 Chargers, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I love the idea. I love that concept. It's sticking.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. I'm telling you. At this point, from the 3, Davis. Take it down to the 25-yard line. Get to see the other LA team next week on Thursday Night Football with a SoFi Stadium, where the Rams will be hosting the Saints. And last year's quarterback for these Raiders, and Derek Carr, now in his first year in New Orleans. TNF tonight starts at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Saints Rams next Thursday.
Talked a lot about Herbert, obviously, and Stick making his first career start. Now they're down 28. Keep in mind, this kid's trying to do this without his obvious go-to target, Keenan Allen, who's got that heel. So a lot of receivers, you're trying to find out who's going to be the guy that's going to step up. Josh Palmer is back, but hadn't gotten a touch yet.
A little trickery here, and that doesn't work either. Darius Davis taking the inside little flip there. Smiling Crosby. Crosby is quite a story, obviously. Had huge issues, was able to rehab. He said he's played 97% of the snaps, which is almost unheard of for a defensive lineman.
I just love watching him play, and I think anybody who loves football watches his enthusiasm. This guy does everything off the field, whether it's diet or it's recovery or it's the way he eats, the way he sleeps. Every aspect, he's trying to gain an edge.
2nd and 12. Set, chase. It's out of bounds, and we've got a flag.
Holding. Offense number 79. It's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Right tackle, Trey Pipkins. Mad Max. Since 2019, 51 sacks. He's played over 4,500 snaps, 300 more than any defensive lineman. This season, as I said, 97%. Now, why does he have 2 X's? If you follow this game, you follow the Raiders, you know. When he was born, he was 11 pounds, 9 ounces. So Mama said, you know what, we got to add another X for extra large.
It's perfect. But he said he watched The Last Dance about Michael Jordan and watched it in like a day and a half, all 10 episodes.
And that pass is caught up at the 29-yard line and then gang tackled there. Quentin Johnston makes his first catch, and we go to Kaylee.
Well, guys, to anyone who suggests to Max Crosby that he should shut his season down because of the knee injury he's been battling, he says, you don't know me. Through 5 years in this league, think about it, guys, he's never missed a game. And no matter the Raiders' record, he says he'll keep doing his thing. Here's a guy who was hospitalized on Thanksgiving with an infection in his knee. Look at that swelling. He said the pain was unbearable, and yet he was playing 3 days later.
It can't be stopped. 3rd down and 5. They picked up 17 on that last play, but they needed 22. And that stick is under pressure. Rolling and throwing, and that pass is low and incomplete, intended for Everett. It's 4th down.
Well, this time this offensive line doubles him, and they get pressure from the other side. It gives you an idea of what he faces. I'm still trying to see that image that Kaylee just showed of that knee and how swelling that he dealt with, and then he ends up not missing a game. That tells you a lot about his approach, and he wouldn't let him. Remember, he said it came down to a game time decision. He said, guys, I'm playing. I don't care what you say. You're not keeping me out of this game.
The postman, nothing stops him from his appointed rounds. Line drive kick fielded at the 24-yard line. DeAndre Carter takes it back to the 36-yard line with 7:21 to go in the opening half. 28-0. The Inspire Changemaker Award recognizes members who are working every day to advance social justice. You can learn more about each team's changemaker. NFL.com/Inspire Change. From the 35-yard line. Happy night for the home crowd. Blanked on Sunday. And 28 points tonight. And a 3-yard pickup here. So we're talking about Antonio Pierce. He takes over. He wins his first 2 games. He was a linebacker with the Giants. Had a great game in the 07 Super Bowl with 11 tackles. Grew up in Compton, California, when the Raiders were playing in L.A. He said, I was born to be a Raider. And, of course, it'll be determined after the season whether he gets the opportunity to be a full-time head coach or not. Yeah,
and I think, the way it started, I think there was a ton of momentum. They lost a few games. Tonight's going to obviously help his case the way this game is heading. And he's going to have a few more games ahead of him. All you can do is go out and get your guys to compete, right? I mean, it's basically an audition for him and for a lot of these players as well. I just like the fact this guy doesn't have any head coaching experience. Been around Marvin Lewis and been around a lot of other. Tom Coughlin he played for. So I think he brought them both around this team. He wanted to kind of use them as kind of just a wisdom that they provide. And he said, even though I haven't been a head coach, as I look at Marvin Lewis, we had a chance to see him on the field before the game. And he said, I haven't been a head coach, but I'm relying on these guys. I got a good staff around me. I want to empower these players to say, this is your game. This is your team. Let's take it 1 week at a time, and I think this is an example. 3-0 last week, and look at him tonight.
Marvin Lewis is ageless. It's caught, first down, and a whole lot more. Devontae Adams. Davis runs him down, and Devontae Adams picks up 24 yards to the 32-yard line.
And they brought pressure from his left, so it creates a one-on-one opportunity. And anytime you get a one-on-one opportunity with Devontae Adams against anybody, especially against Davis, that's the matchup they're looking for. He is locked in. Again, the line gives him time. His feet are set, and he is an accurate passer, as he's demonstrated quite a bit tonight.
163 yards for O'Connell to this point. 3 catches for Adams. We're going to throw it. Myers caught. Adams. He's done that before. Jacoby Myers, in fact, before he ever scored a touchdown as a receiver, he threw 2 touchdown passes with New England. 2nd and 1.
And this just shows you, you can tell pretty quickly, like you said, Al, it's going to be a pass once he's in motion, the depth that he gets. But watch to the far right and watch the effort here. Adams is kind of waiting on the defender. He's either going to go by him, or he's just waiting to just feel what's Asante Samuel doing, and he sinks. So he said, all right, I'll just take the first down, then I'll settle right there. Good throw by Myers. They didn't quite get the first down.
Second and 1. Running back is White. 4.5 to go. Said they give it to Tucker. Loses one. We go to Kaylee.
Guys, to add to the conversation you were having about Antonio Pierce, Jacoby Myers told me players were walking on eggshells under the previous coaching regime because of the expectations put on them, but a lot of that weight was lifted when Pierce became the head coach. Robert Spillane said 100% he wants Pierce to keep the head job. He said he's seen Pierce's personal growth in just these short 6 weeks, never blinking at challenges and being transparent with the players.
Yeah, we talked to him about what it's been like. He said it's been a tornado and a hurricane. Meanwhile, now taking the snap will be Brandon Bolden. He'll keep it, he'll run, and he'll run all the way to the end zone. Brandon Bolden, who had not carried the ball one time all season, has now carried twice and into the end zone. He goes 26 yards.
Tell you, the guy who's having a night tonight is Bo Hardigree, the offensive play caller. Just everything seems to be working. The Chargers, not great effort on that play, especially with the tackling. They look defeated here already with 3:50 to go in the first half.
Absolutely. Carlson for the point after. Well, for the second week in a row, we've done it before the first half, right?
Yeah, you're right.
35 points.
Amen. Jacoby Myers on the edge. You'll see him with a crack block at the top. Nice job on Mack. And then look at these linemen. Look at Thayer Munford getting downfield. Jordan Meredith getting downfield. There's a nice block on Mack. Get him to the edge. And now really poor job by the Chargers, just not getting off of blocks. Davis right there, just kind of an Olay arm tackle. And Bolden running pretty hard there. Remember, this offense is without Josh Jacobs. You've seen a combination of Zamir White, Abdullah, and Bolden, all three of them getting their chances. And
yeah,
all three of them getting chances to put yards up on the board, points on the board.
Go figure. You're right. Without Josh Jacobs, their ace back, you got White, you got Abdullah, and now you got Bolden. O'Connell having a night. And for Khalil Mack, and the Chargers. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? You tell me. Now you summed it up. I mean, they just look defeated right now.
Yeah. You know, I'm not into piling on a guy, but I know Brandon Staley's. He was on a hot seat when this season started. He's trending right now on Twitter because of the way this game is going. So.
What isn't trending on Twitter?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's take a look at our next gen stats powered by AWS. And Pipkins matched up against Max Crosby. That is a tough assignment. You can see the pressures that Pipkins has allowed, but 0 so far tonight. He's had some help from time to time with the tight ends or a back helping him out, but when he's been on an island so far, keeping Crosby off of this young quarterback, Easton Stick.
Stick is 9 of 13, but for only 74 yards. Spiller is the running back. Everett incomplete. Covered by Amit Robertson. Got a flag. Back at the 20-yard line.
Going to call that on Robertson of the Raiders.
After the play was over, taunting. Defense, number 21. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot, an automatic first down. This is number 21's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for potential disqualification.
Right after the play, just kind of steps over top of him, has a few words for him. Official right there to hear it and see it. Calls the penalty, and Antonio Pierce and really Patrick Graham takes him right off the field, put Bennett in for him.
Yeah, everyone probably said, haven't we suffered enough?
And we're at 35-0. You know, let's play smart.
Yeah, leave us alone. From the 40. Spiller for a gain of 1 with 3.5 to go in the opening half.
Pierce has to be happy with the way Patrick Graham and his defense is playing. Yeah, the Chargers 6 possessions, punt, fumble, fumble, punt, punt, and a punt.
Pierce said when he took over, the first thing he tried to do is rally the coaches. It's very difficult to get the offense in gear, but tonight it is completely in gear. Spiller, yard or two shy of the first down, third and a deuce.
I watched Isaiah Spiller quite a bit in college, and he was at Texas A&M. He is a talented back with good size. I think he'll get more chances, whether tonight or I think the rest of their season, just to kind of feel him out with Eckler not having a great year, with this line not opening up a lot of holes.
Third down and 1. Not going to get it. Eckler is there. Jack Jones comes up to make the tackle. It's fourth down. 2.5 to go to the half.
There's another example of that offensive line on third and short. He ran into a wall. I mean, just nowhere to go. Across the board, that offensive line loses. Max Crosby's in there.
Bolden, who had not one time all season,
keeps him short of the first
taking
down.
the snap will be Brandon Bolden. He'll keep it. He'll run, and he'll run all the way to the end zone before the play clock runs out. Brandon Bolden, who had not carried the ball one time all season. 35-0. Taking the snap will be Brandon Bolden. He'll keep it. He'll run, and he'll run all the way to the end zone. If you're just tuning in, not a typo. All Raiders all night. It's fourth down and 1 now for the Chargers from their own 49-yard line. Erickson goes to the outside on the left. Keep it on the ground, and with a flag down, that's Eckler. So he did not get the call here.
Looks like the Chargers lined up off sides, and we saw that controversial call.
Ruling on the field is that
Looks
the
like
runner
they're
did
gonna call
not
it
make the
again.
line to gain. We have offside. Offense number 7. That penalty is declined. Result is a turnover on downs. First down Las Vegas.
So I'm trying to think of a silver lining here. Of course, this is the big story all week with the Buffalo-Kansas City situation. There it is, clearly Everett lining up offside. There goes the flag. If there's a silver lining, the flight home is only 45 minutes. You imagine doing coast to coast after this?
That would be brutal.
Oof.
Yeah. Me, on the other hand.
Yes, you on the other hand, flying from Virginia to Corvallis every other weekend. But you're off this week. Congrats.
Hey, Rita!
Looking for more. Adams being a 9 to the 40-yard line. Tackled by Michael Davis.
I keep bringing up his name as a play caller just because he's never done it, and nobody expected this performance, but Bo Hardigree continues to work this thing perfectly.
That's a first down. Working his way inside the 35. Samir White.
I think they're trying to make up for the points that they didn't put up on the board last week. Tonight they get the ball to start the second half. I mean, they're in attack mode trying to get to 42.
Yep.
I don't think they're thinking about a field goal here.
And at least showing, I think, some mercy, at least at this point. Not calling a timeout either. From the 34. That's incomplete, intended there for Hunter Renfrow. And as fate would have it, who gets the ball to start the second half?
I'm saying, yeah, the Raiders get the ball to start the second. And think about this. Being in the mindset of the Chargers team, they're 5-8. They've had 5 games that have slipped through their fingers. They show up in a big divisional matchup on Thursday night on national TV, and you have 3 turnovers in your own territory. Put your defense in a tough spot, and you're down 35. You got to go back out there and play some more defense.
Yeah. and lay a gigantic egg. A little bit of room to roam there for Abdullah. And Abdullah trying to get that first down. Kept on going. Get untangled here.
I feel like this is always a mark of a team that has quit and has kind of shut things down. It first shows up in their tackling. And here is a tackle potentially by Derwin James. And look at the effort here by the Raiders to just keep. He probably got another 3 or 4 yards to get that first down.
Well, there's the gang. You guys all set? You guys all ready?
You guys got the second half, boys.
That's right.
Whole second half.
State Farm halftime show coming up.
After discussion.
Actually, we're going to rotate all four. They're going to come up here like every third series.
And we'll go down to that green room and eat that caviar that you guys dine out on every week.
It will be second down. Second down.
So it's second down, as it turns out, as they checked it again. 2nd and 1.
Correction. Correction. It will be third down.
Make it 3rd and 1 as Ron Torbert makes that correction. Boy, the visuals say it all every time we go over to that Charger bench. And
Hey, 6 is the mic.
totally understandable.
6 is the mic. Monday. Wait, 80. What hot?
Up the middle. That's a first down. Abdullah to the 19-yard line. And the Raiders are going to, for the moment, we're going to take a timeout, but he's saying Bassi is the injured Charger.
Timeout on the field for an injured Los Angeles
So it's an
player.
injury timeout.
By rule, Los Angeles will be charged with its second timeout of the half.
Of all things.
Hate to see it. Anytime a defender lowers his head like that, that's always the big fear, you know, of the potential injury to the neck.
Kaylee, down to you.
Well, guys, Kenneth Murray has been back on the field during this series. He was in the tent for several minutes with the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant as well as the athletic training staff. We were told the issue, though, was his left shoulder. He's been on the injury report with it for the last 3 weeks. They taped him up, and he's back out there now.
Yeah, you're looking at him right now alongside Mack. Murray leading the team in tackles. Meanwhile, good news is Bassi is able to walk off the field under his own power. And with 36 seconds, Raiders looking for more. What song are you going to sing in the second half tonight for us?
I think we're going to bring Elvis up here from our morning meeting.
First down from the 20-yard line. O'Connell to the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. Trey Tucker. His second of the night.
Oh, with the motion of Carter, the defender running with him, O'Connell knew right away he had what he wanted with man-to-man coverage off to his right with his fastest receiver in Tucker. And look at that separation. Again, a deep over route. Offensive line does their job again, giving him enough time. Look at him get to the top of the stem of that route, pull away from Davis, who's had a rough night. And here's Mack, one-on-one, losing not quite enough time there to get to the quarterback. Mumford does a nice job.
Held him in check. Carlson for the point after. 31 seconds to the half, and here's a 30-second break. That's what they tell me.
Do they ever get to a point to.
If this were Pop Warner, they'd stop the game, right?
Yeah, or keep the just continuous clock. Maybe in the second half.
We're in Vegas. Referee stops contest.
42-0, largest halftime lead in Raiders team history.
Mm-hmm. We're checking to see the last time any team
can't imagine
led by 42 in the first half. 2014, the Packers against the Bears, we were being told, was the last time. It was 42-0. We ain't done yet.
Tough way, man. I mean, one thing that we've been talking a lot about these turnovers, and we're excited to see the kid Easton Stick get his chance to make his first career start in for the injured Justin Herbert. And really, from the first series on, this game has gotten away from Stick and the Chargers with those 3 turnovers in their own territory. Raiders cash them in to 21 points.
Might as well just shut it down here. Isaiah Spiller gains a couple. The Chargers will just go to the locker room right now. The Raiders will do all the celebrating, and that's exactly where they are going. End of the first half. Raiders started hot, been hot. Let's go to Kaylee.
Brandon, how do you describe the performance of your team in the first half?
This wasn't good enough. That wasn't us out there. Did not come ready to play. Second half we got to fight for pride. But it's a good group. We got to regroup at halftime. Come out and try to play a better second half.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate the fact that he even stopped by for that interview.
No doubt.
A lot of guys wouldn't. Coming up after the break is the State Farm halftime show with Carissa.